Hello, my name is Gregory Perosi, and we're here in Kate's room talking about Kate Walker. Kate Walker was Lighthouse Keeper when her husband John Walker had passed away. Now her main priority was to keep the light lit at all times.
Hi, Greg. My name is Megan Beck. I'm the curator here at the Noble Maritime Collection, and we're going to talk about Kate Walker. Kate Walker was born in Germany in 1848, and when she was about 30 years old, she emigrated here to America with her young son, and she met Captain John Walker, who worked at the Sandy Hook Lighthouse, and this is about 1882. And then they married, and he brought her to Robbins Reef. And when her husband died, just a few years later, she took over his job by herself for 30 years.
Wow, and what was her title back then?
She was Lighthouse Keeper. She was the head Lighthouse Keeper. Mm-hmm. And when her son reached the age of 21, his name was Jacob Walker, he assisted her. The type of work that they had to do at the lighthouse, it was very important to keep the light burning at all times. It was all the way up at the top, and she had to fill it with oil every 5 hours to make sure that the light stayed lit all night for the sailors that needed it. You can actually see her doing it in some of these photographs we have in the room. And it was 6 little lamps that she would have to fill with oil, and then she fit them into the apparatus that would rotate.
Now, what was her main priority here over at Robbins Reef?
The main priority was to keep the light lit at all times. It had to flash from sundown to sunrise every single night, and she had to fill the lamps that lit the light with oil every 5 hours to keep it burning.
Yes, Megan, what was it like for Kate Walker to run this lighthouse?
It was a very difficult job because she had, as we spoke about, she had to keep the light lit all night for the sailors that needed it for navigation. But if anything went wrong with the light, there was a siren that she would have to wind. She would have to go all the way down into the basement and wind the siren, and it would honk every 3 seconds to let the sailors know that there is a lighthouse here, so be careful. But if the siren also malfunctioned, she would have to hammer on a bell all the way up on the roof of the lighthouse to let people on the mainland know that there was something wrong. She also had to keep the lighthouse spotless. She had a lot of cleaning she had to do every day. Very strict codes because it was a government job. Being a lighthouse keeper was a government job. So she also had to keep very detailed logbooks, everything she did in a day, everything she saw out on the water, and that included rescues. We know that she saved at least 50 people. We don't really know details of those rescues, but by her own count, she saved about 50 people that washed up on the reef. Wow. And she would go out in her rowboat, and she would either bring them onto the lighthouse or help them get back to their vessel, or even row them to shore if necessary to make sure that everything was okay.
Now, to this day, Megan, why is it that Robbins Reef is actually called Kate's Lake?
Because she lived there for 33 years, and it was the longest anyone had ever worked at Robbins Reef. And because she was a woman, she was very well known as the keeper, and it was a way to honor her memory.